Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. You just saw me opening her. I should have, I have sped that and fast forward. And here she is now ready. Tell you what, great figure, man. Peg holes are looking good. She's got rocker ankles as well. So why is that not consistent with this line of figures? Some figures, they've got such shallow peg holes, it's a waste of time. A complete waste of time. But this one here, she's got smaller feet because she's petite. But she's got deep peg holes on the heels, man. That's good. So anyway, great figure. I'm way behind on this stuff, man. I mean, this was out ages ago. 230, wow. So still, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Best things come to those who wait. And the one I've opened, actually, is... I only have 2 of her carded. I've got loads of Koska Reeves for some reason. I mean, I beg your pardon. I've got loads of Axis Woves, but only 2 Koska Reeves. And the one that I was keeping carded was this one. But look at it. Now, I've had star cases that have been like this. Look at the plastic, right? It's a fault, that. It's very thin, and it's gone kind of wavy, almost like it's been heated up. And it's shriveled or something. But I think it's a process of however they cast those bubbles, and something's gone wrong there. Whereas this one here is kind of solid. Can you look at that, you see? The other one had waves in it. Anyway, that's just a kind of tiny problem I spotted with this one, hence why I opened it. And apart from that, there was nothing in the cards, because whoever I got this from, I think I got one from Pulse, one from Star Action Figures. They come in excellent condition. So what should we look at first? Let's look at the figure first, man. I really want to check that out. Look at the card back in a minute. The card back I don't actually like that much, but the figure is awesome. The card back, why don't I like the card back? Well, I think it's because it looks a bit too animated. Don't like the colours. You know, sometimes they ping, sometimes they don't, but they might for you, I don't know. But this is a great figure. Look at her. And the peg that you plug the rocket pack on with is brilliant. There's been a history of figures where they pop out and stuff. They never stay on. That ain't coming off anytime soon, man. It was a really thick peg. I'll show you that later. It's a really thick peg, and I don't even know if I've pushed it in fully. The blaster looks good, doesn't it? And I'm not going to... Well, once I've done this review, I'm going to put it in that... I might put it in that holster for now. But the facial sculpt's really good. When we saw her in the trailer for Mando 2, we all thought she was, I don't know, a Jedi or something. She was just wearing a cloak. The helmet I've put under her arm. Good likeness. Great figure. She's just as good as, of course, you know, Bo-Katan was a great figure. In fact, this trio are awesome. In fact, do you know what? I was going to get all 3 of them for the purposes of this video and put them all together, but I'll do that. I'll run and do that in a minute. Look at that, man. It's a great angle from there. Look at that. She's great. Awesome. Look, see? The peg's not completely pushed in. Could you see that? Anyway, I'll wait for it to come around again. What else can I say? Look, I will also put the helmet on for you. You can't, sorry, let me rephrase that. You can't put the helmet on. Rightly so. We'll head swap it. So it will look like she's got her helmet on. And that brings me back to Axis Woves. What the hell were they thinking? Come on, Hasbro. You had 2 great figures. This one is clearly great. Bo-Katan's great. And Axis Woves is great. However, man, that bloody removable helmet option you chose, whose idea was that? Whoever you are, that was a bad move. With great respect, you know, I don't understand why they did that. Do you? They've just mastered the Fett helmet sculpt, the Mando helmet sculpt, and then they decided to get a bloody removable helmet from God knows where. I don't know where that came from. As in, is it an old one they brought back? Because Fett's existed for years. I know it's not Boba Fett, but it's still a Mando helmet. Or did they make that specially? Please don't tell me you made that specially for Axis Woves, because that was a horrendous thing to do. It looked crap. It is crap. Anyway, moving on. We're supposed to be talking about this young lady. So, Koska Reeves. Let's have a look at this card back. A bit closer in there. Excuse the dust on there. You're probably seeing a bit. Hang on a minute. It's been sat in a box for a while in here. And, yeah, I've gotten, Yeah, that's right. The other one, that's been in a star case on the wall. That's why that's dusty. That's been in a box. This was the one I was going to open. And you're just seeing her again, as you just saw before. But they're great figures, man, aren't they? What a great line, 3 3/4 inches. It is. You can't say that it's on its way out, because if they're making this kind of quality, it just sort of proves, if they're making this kind of quality, let me start that again. If they're making this kind of quality, man, it just proves how strong the line is. And how much they must still respect it. You know, they're doing a good job. They really are. So thank you, hasbro. I know I was just moaning about that helmet, but God, you're doing something, right? You're doing some great figures. And this artwork, it is quite nice, actually, I suppose. Now I zoom in and just see the image like that. I think generally I prefer realistic cards. So in fact, if you hang on there, I think I've got my spare woes here. What's this card back like? Compare the two there, you see. Man. You get that kind of wet look that planet had there. This one here, I don't know where she's firing off that weapon. Ah, the corridor of that ship. That was a great episode. So anyway, like I said in my previous episode that featured one of these guys, we are now on to 2 years ago that they had Mando season 2. And what a season it was, man. I loved it. I think it's got its critics, but I loved it. Right from that Crate Dragon episode to this episode, I loved it when they were taking on that light freighter. And then you saw, again, the dark side of the Empire. You know, the long live the Empire. Long live the Empire. Boom, boom. Shot those two poor dudes cold blood in their back. And then he took that shit down like a suicide dive. It was crazy. All that kind of stuff I love. Very excited to find out about the factions of the Empire in season 3 and onwards. Maybe the Ahsoka series. Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? I want to know all about it, man. I'd love if there were 2 factions. Thrawn in charge of one, Gideon the other. But there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what? I'm going to let her spin. I might need to put this in fast forward, but whilst I'm fast forwarding it, I'm walking down the corridor to my loose room to get the other 2 bandos. Bear with me. I'm back. And I will actually also finish this video with Koska Reeves with her helmet on, which I know she won't look that good, because I know that Bo-Katan didn't look that good. Plus, with Bo-Katan, it was a waste of a great head sculpt. This fella is actually the best option for having his helmet under his arm. They all look great with the helmet under their arm, but with the case of him, you don't want it any other way. These 2 potentially would look all right or better than, say, him with their helmet on. But because they're properly scaled and stuff, that's just really goofy and big. But I'd like to see what she looks like. But what I mean is when I put that helmet on her head, it took away from the figure because the head sculpt's so good. You want to not be wearing a helmet, if that makes sense. But have it so you can just see it right, like that. I always think of Sabine Wren when I see these female helmets. I'm not a big fan of Sabine Wren, really, but I do like this lady here. I do like her. She's pretty cool. Bo-Katan. He's all right. He just seems a bit subordinate to these 2 ladies, which is fine. Progressive and all that, ladies and gentlemen. Take a back seat, man. You goddamn mansplaining. Whatever, I'm talking shit. Right, so what am I going to do now? Bear with me, let me put the helmet on this character. Put the rotator back. And there it is. And yeah, she just looks generic now, so that's not as good. For me anyway, but if you want to recreate the scene where they've all got the helmets on, well, you got that option, haven't you? Except that's the problem. If you are somebody who wants to have them with helmets on, God help you when you come to him, because he looks goddamn terrible. But this is an awesome figure. Let me just get her around down there. Thank you very much for watching that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope we've covered everything there. And there's another great facial sculpt there that we've got for now Koska Reeves there. Brilliant. What a great trio they are, man. Again, 2 years ago to the sort of day, almost now, more or less, we had Mando 2. Bring on Mando 3. And I think I've said all I need to say about Koska Reeves. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I have been only one Kenobi. Only one. Out.